We have been starved as Pokemon fans. We've gotten really nothing when it comes to Pokemon Sword and Shield lately, and E3 is on the way, and there weren't really too many signs of big Pokemon news right before. There usually is some sort of Pokemon Direct or Pokemon news right before E3, so I do think there's still a pretty good possibility of that, but we don't really know. So in this video, we're going to kind of talk about my expectations and wishes for Pokemon Sword and Shield at E3 and surrounding E3, because there may be a Pokemon Direct right before it. So let's first talk about that. Is it going to be at a Pokemon Direct? Is it going to be at the Nintendo Direct at E3? Or are we just going to get Treehouse footage? Or will it just not be there at all? Well, first and foremost, just let me say, we will definitely be learning about Pokemon Sword and Shield, more about it, around E3 time. You can book it. That is totally happening. I really doubt we will go throughout the entire May and June month without learning a lot more about Pokemon Sword and Shield. Actually, just recently, we got to see that there will be customization in Pokemon Sword and Shield, and from the little shot we saw, it does look like the graphics have been updated a little bit, so it looks like they are working on the game, polishing it, making it look better, and that's really exciting, and I am, of course, glad that there will be customization with your clothing. That is a welcome addition, or rather, it's a welcome feature that's returning from Pokemon Sun and Moon. So yeah, I'm happy with that, of course. But the question really is, are we going to have to wait until right before E3 or at E3? It's hard to say. I think based off previous years, it would simply be that we will get some sort of event for Pokemon Sword and Shield, be it a Direct or something else along those lines, where we're going to learn a lot more about the game. They're going to do more than just the initial reveal trailer, and maybe we'll learn about the cover legendaries. I think that's to be expected. I think we will learn a little bit more about other Pokemon and moves and mechanics that are in the game. There's a chance we'll just learn about that at E3, but I'll say it's more likely that we'll get an event right before E3, and then we'll get like another brief trailer during E3, and then during the Nintendo Treehouse after the Nintendo E3 Direct, we will get to learn a lot more. We'll get to see actual gameplay. So, in terms of like whenever we get to see this actual, whether it's at the Direct or right before the Direct, like I said, we're going to learn about a few more Pokemon, a few more moves, a few more mechanics. We're going to learn about some features in the game, of course. We're going to see the cover legendaries. I think that's all to be expected. I don't expect to learn about the next starter evolutions. What I think is going to be happening is that most of the footage that we're going to be seeing is going to be from early on in the game. I'm thinking that the first 3 badges are actually going to be pretty close to each other, and what's going to happen is we're going to discover that it's open. The game is open. If you look at the gallery map and the way it's constructed, it does look like you can go to different places out of order potentially, and we may be going through the water, fire, and grass gyms in any sort of order we like in the beginning of the game, and it's just kind of open in that way. So the game may be semi-open, and that will be confirmed at E3 or around E3. So it's going to be really cool to see, and I think the Treehouse footage is going to really center around people playing somewhere within that first big section of the game where they can go to one of the 3 different potential gyms and explore that area, the beginning part of the game. I think that's going to be a really interesting part to see how the game is open in that way. There's going to be a lot more characters to interact with, and that's going to be really exciting. We're also going to finally discover what the gyms are actually called, if they're going to be gym masters rather than gym leaders. My personal belief is that Pokemon Sword and Shield is going to place a great emphasis on the gym masters and the gyms. They're more like giant coliseums now. They may try to sort of bring in some of that Pokemon Stadium influence from back in the day, make the actual gym battles and challenges seem a lot more epic and grandiose. There may even be some sort of narrator or announcer during the battle, just like Pokemon Stadium days. That's my personal wish. I think there's a possibility that can maybe happen. We may learn about multiplayer options as well, if they are going to try and have some sort of Pokemon Stadium-like influence on the game. Because while they are trying to design Sword and Shield to be a portable game like previous Pokemon games, it is on the Nintendo Switch, which means it's also a home console, and the Switch is all about multiplayer as well, so I have to think they're going to include some sort of local multiplayer. So what if they offer local battles with rentals or something along those lines in Pokemon Sword and Shield, and it's going to sort of coincide with the huge focus on gym masters and these giant coliseums. I think there's a possibility of that, and that's what I'm sort of predicting here. Now, normally around summertime in Worlds, we learn something about the next Pokemon game that's happened quite a few times. I remember when I got to see a whole bunch of new Mega Evolutions when X and Y was coming out back in the day when I was at Worlds. That was an amazing experience. But I'm thinking we're going to be learning about that special mechanic for this particular game. Every Pokemon game, every new generation has some sort of mechanic. We got Z moves in Gen 7, we got Mega Evolution in Gen 6. The rumor is that we'll have armor evolution in Generation 8. Do I think it's true? I think there's a possibility of it, not necessarily. I will say that the whole marketing with the different type of armor design with the remade Mewtwo movie is interesting, but they said that armor is exclusive to the movie, so we'll see how that plays out. But it's also interesting because we have seen some evidence of perhaps some form of armor evolution in Pokemon Sword and Shield, because when you go and look at the shot of the lab from the initial trailer, you zoom in on this diagram, it shows a Charizard head. It looks like it's getting some sort of armor enhancement, some sort of machine enhancement. It's just kind of like Mewtwo in the Mewtwo movie. So I think this premise of armor evolution actually being an aspect of the next games is fairly likely. It may not be called quite armor evolution, but it wouldn't shock me if there's some sort of upgrade system regarding machinery and armor for the Pokemon, especially considering that it seems like there's going to be a big emphasis on Coliseum battles. So Pokemon, Coliseum battles, armor, wearing armor in a Coliseum battle, think Roman battles. I think there may be some sort of influence along those lines as well. And that's basically what I sort of expect to learn about for Pokemon Sword and Shield this time around. We're going to see how armor evolution is going to work. I imagine they will do something different from Mega Evolution. Maybe it'll be more of a defensive variant. Maybe it gives you different abilities, something along those lines. Maybe it can break off so it's not a permanent evolution or even a semi-permanent evolution during a battle. That's a possibility, perhaps. I'm really excited about seeing how the exploration of the game is going to work. I am thinking it's going to be more open, and you will be able to access badges out of order. I'm thinking the treehouse footage will show us going to different areas in any order you sort of like. That's going to be really interesting to see. I think we will see the cover legendaries. We'll see some new interesting moves and mechanics. And we'll probably learn a little bit about the gym master battles and how they'll be a bit more epic and bombastic, maybe have a bit of a stadium feel to it, and maybe they'll even show off some multiplayer modes that have maybe rental Pokemon or simply multiplayer local battles with the Pokemon you have in your game. Those are my predictions and wishes as well. Hopefully see something along those lines or something even better. Maybe you guys have even better ideas for Pokemon Sword and Shield or better predictions for Pokemon Sword and Shield. So let me know in the comments below, guys. This is AndresRestart. Thank you so much for listening and watching. I'll see you all really soon. Bye.